What has fallen is the entire Indian doctrine made by Doval, Jaishankar and Prime Minister Modi to completely unravel or be able to say so forcefully, because they were meant to have, this is the problem, to the world they were meant to have conventional supremacy, military supremacy over Pakistan. And you know who broke that myth? Not Pakistan. It was Prime Minister Modi and his extremist agenda, which broke that myth of power and the illusion of power that the world had attached to India, and literally put them at the next security provider, not only for themselves, but the entire region. And guess what happens? The world finds out that a country that they consider to be powerful enough, militarily strong enough, conventionally superior over its nuclear power neighbor, could not even defend its own border when the other country, as in Pakistan, decides to just do what it is entitled to do under Article 51 by just as a defensive measure, and then as an offensive measure to be able to tell them how far we can reach. And allow me to say, Mr. Chairman, what we also proved was that we don't only equip ourselves with high, fancy, technologically advanced toys and tools, we just happen to train ourselves better to be able to also use them. So the military, what happened in the war theatre, Mr. Chairman, allow me to also say, will rewrite the premises of what this entire region, including the Indo-Pacific strategy for many, many regions and countries. The illusion of power for some countries is far more useful than to test it. I think India, unfortunately, under this extremist Hindutva ideology, decided to test a very pervasive and a strong illusion of power that it was able to protect all over the world. And then they burst their own bubble. So, Mr. Chairman, I don't want to go further into that. I just want to make some points, because I think Pakistan should be unapologetic in 2 or 3 things. First of all, if somebody thinks that a country where a terrorism incident takes place has the right to launch strikes into another country, into its geographical boundaries, into internationally established borders, then please be mindful of the precedent that we're setting. Please be mindful of the precedent that we're setting. Does that, by the same logic, does it mean that when Jafar Express happened, and we were able to share evidence of India's involvement with it, that we were right in self-defense to launch strikes into Indian territory? Is that what the world is trying to sanctify over here? We cannot rewrite international law until we write it. And since we haven't written it, might as well abide by it. Mr. Chairman, I have कभी-कभी ना अफसोस होता है कि जब आपका खुद का कहा कुछ सही निकल गया. Because for many, many years we were telling the world that the impunity that is being granted to India to be a belligerent extremist state to all its neighbors is going to make this region a very, very tense, combative, flagrant one. And I thought it was proven to be true in the last few days. But Mr. Chairman, I do want to say that I think Pakistan should be absolutely unapologetic in having to defend and having the will and the ability to defend itself. We should have done this earlier. We did it at the right time. We did it when we were provoked, when our military bases were even attacked. And that restraint that Pakistan showed was on exhibit in all world capitals. And the theatrics, starting from the top of political leadership in India, going all the way down to the media frenzy, was also on display. Mr. Chairman, मैं आपके तवज्जुह से इंडिया के पास एक पैगाम दिखाना चाहती हूँ कि बॉलीवुड में जंगें लड़ना मुख्तलिफ है और वॉर थिएटर में असल में जंग लड़ना मुख्तलिफ है. और हम कभी भी, we will never be on the side of provocation or war or conflict, because we have suffered together, India and Pakistan, in the entire region, the result of that.
Wind up,
मैं wind up करती हूँ, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, मैं यहाँ पे एक और बात भी कहना चाहती हूँ जो कि शायद लोगों को weird लगे, अजीब लगे. You know what India has done? It has weaponized terrorism. What does weaponization of terrorism mean? Terrorism is a rare problem. If India was serious in dealing with this problem, you know what they would do? They would not run away from the dialogue table, and they would not run away from negotiation. Terrorism is a regional problem, it's an international problem. It is not the purview of only one country. So basically, when terrorism happens in India, it is supposed to do self-defense. When terrorism happens in Pakistan, Pakistan is supposed to do what? Nothing. So, Mr. Chairman, I want to say that we must also be unapologetic as a country which celebrates ceasefire. Kyun na kare celebrate ceasefire? Yes, we will absolutely celebrate ceasefire, and we celebrate the fact that President Trump played a very, very useful role. And I will just end by saying, because I understand you don't have much time and I would probably want to get up again and talk about what this means for Pakistan, but I want to end by saying what this means for India. For the last 10, 15 years, we have seen India's ability, and they say with a lot of success, to be able to de-hyphenate from Pakistan, to de-hyphen India from Pakistan. You know what they did by provoking Pakistan into this war theater, improving them and breaking the myth of their net security provider? They have, for all capitals of the world, hyphened India, Pakistan together again. For times to come, people were concerned about this region being a nuclear flashpoint. And we used to say...
Conclude, please.
Mr. Chairman, we used to say that nahi, we are a responsible country because the fingers were always pointed at Pakistan. Pakistan will be the irresponsible nuclear state. Guess which country proved itself to be a nuclear state, but an irresponsible one, which was willing to go up the escalation ladder? It was India, Mr. Chairman. Lastly, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Lastly, Mr. Chairman, I think Prime Minister Modi thought that by saying something aggressively enough and by doing something which is very illegal, they can change the geography and reality of the region. And once they start calling a dispute not a dispute, the dispute would stop being a dispute. And when President Trump says in his truth tweet that he would like to play a role in solving this dispute, I want to remind everyone President Trump represents a country which is a deep partner of India at the moment, where they have an alliance of sorts. So now, the interesting thing that we see, and I am absolutely concluding now,
Thank you.
was that...
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ji. Please wind up, Karli.
The same India that Pakistan ki har baat ko jhoota kehta tha, jaise hi Secretary Rubio and President Trump sent their tweets out on the role that they had played in the ceasefire, and that they would like for India and Pakistan to resolve all their disputes and go on the negotiating table. The same India, the same Indian press and the same Indian officials starting calling President Trump and Secretary Rubio liars also. So it seems that the lying problem is pervasive all over the world, and the theatrics that we saw from India, which had actually attacked Karachi and Fatah, Karachi ko bhi kar liya tha, Lahore ko bhi kar liya tha, Islamabad ko bhi kar liya tha. Sirf such, the only truth in this world seems to be emanating from that country which displayed its theatrics and its society's implosion in broad daylight, visible to the whole world.
Thank you. An important point I would like to highlight is that unnecessarily cast reflection on the conduct of any person who cannot defend himself before the assembly. It's very important. Ji Mohtaram Muhammad